Good afternoon. Whoops. Here we go. Good afternoon. It is September 23rd, 2021, and today was an uptrend day. Really, we had these two measured moves, and this second leg formed a spike in channel. And to be honest, there were you actually probably could have taken some shorts because when I get closer in, you'll see there was kind of a range right here, and prices were responding to those highs. And then we had this channel just in the past hour that formed. Yeah, so as long as you drew your trend lines, you should have been all right. So let's take a look at these. By the way, yeah, this is the channel for the day, but that probably would not have helped you. It just would have helped you stay out of these longs up here. But yeah, we'll take a look. And you know what? I'm realizing I forgot to mark the trades in here when I had to restart my computer, so let me pause the video. 5 o'clock, which is when I come in, came in right about here. So it looked like we were in a range, and we did break down into that range. So I was really tempted to go short here, but the signal bar was just no good. And this bounced off the EMA. I think, and that's a second entry short off of that resistance. I think had I spotted the fact that this was a repeat pattern, you can see here we get a second entry short and the signal bar is like that. I think I would have taken it just on the repeat pattern because it's off of support, and yeah, it looks exactly the same. And of course, yeah, I held back. That would have been a really good runner if I was using a runner. But you know, I think it's better to play it safe because I didn't play it safe today for the most part, and I paid for that. But we break out. Let's see, we break out of the range, and we bounce here, and you get a first entry, failed second entry, and I do like that. It's off the EMA. It might be a little tough to take. I also like this as an aggressive entry because it's a counter trend. We're thinking that we broke out with trend, which the trend was down, but you look at this and we bounced overnight. So I don't know. I was looking at this. I didn't take this either. I was thinking about it, but I didn't. But yeah, there's reason to take that. It looks like a higher low back into congestion. You would have gotten a nice move out of that too. But yeah, I think you can take this. It's on that midline, and look how congestive that is actually. So I'm going to mark that aggressive instead. But you can take that, and that. If you did take that, look at that move you get. And this is all too far from the EMA. You get these dojis, and that's when I start to think, okay, well, this could be a runaway trend, but it doesn't end up being that way. You get a first entry, double bottom, or matching low. So I think you can go on an aggressive move. This is off the trend line. You can go long here. Maybe you would want to enter above this bar, maybe. But that's an aggressive move here. I don't know if you can enter this. This isn't the swing low, but it's a second entry, and this trend looks very strong up. So I don't know. This is tough, but I think I would probably enter on that. But if you're patient, you get a first entry, second entry. I actually entered on this bar because this looked like a really strong uptrend. So I think that's okay given the context. But if you wait, you get a nice signal bar right away. I think I entered on this bar and I didn't get a runner. And I think if you entered on this bar, you would have gotten a runner. Oh, maybe not. Looks like this bar would have stopped you out of break even. And then you get so this is a new low. We make a new low here. First entry, failed second entry short. Looks like it's off of this resistance, so I like that. If you put it one tick above here, that's above the EMA. That's good enough for a scalp. But if you're patient and you just want a second entry, you get a first entry, second entry right there. And that gives us a nice leg up. And here, look, you get a second entry, but this looks like a range. Broke through the EMA here, comes back up, breaks through the EMA again, comes back up, breaks through the EMA again. So this is, I had this range drawn and I had this trend line drawn, but I still went long here. And when that failed and then this signal bar formed, I went long again, which is a terrible mistake, and they're just trapping people, and that sets up a really nice failed second entry long. And you could have had this range drawn, and you could have had this channel up drawn, and I did, but I didn't listen to my trend lines. And that's a really important thing, is to just trust your trend lines. Some people express that they have difficulty drawing trend lines, and that's pretty surprising to me, because I have never had problems with, but listening to my trend lines has been a problem. Anyway, you get a lower high right here if you want to jump in on that. You get an overshoot that leads to a break and a pretty strong move up, and then we get this second entry off of that level of support. Let me see if I can get rid of this. That does look like a channel, this, but yeah, I can see my chart is very busy right now. So that also, the overshoot of this correction also is a break of this channel. And really what I'm thinking is probably the midline of this larger channel. There's probably a midline between the midline and the upper part of the channel, and that's probably around here. So that's probably what happened. So you know what, given that, I'm probably going to delete that just to clear up my chart. So you get a second entry short off a resistance. That turns out to be a nice move. And then you get this kind of looked like a second entry short as well. First entry looks like a failed second entry as well, so maybe you could go short there. But yeah, that looks like a move you can take. But then we bounce here, and that looks like a channel now at this point, and you get a first entry, second entry. And this is in the channel. So the difference between this one and this closed beneath the EMA. This one looks like it closed right at the EMA. This one is in the channel. This one is not. This is after a close outside of the channel. So those are the differences between those. This is they're both second entries. Here we get a first entry, second entry. That's aggressive because it's a close outside of the channel. But you might take that. It's also a breakout pullback. And then you get a first failed second entry short. You could have drawn this channel off of the highs. Let's see. Like that. Yeah, like that. So let's bring this here. Something like that. So that is off the trend line, but it's not off the EMA, so that's aggressive. And then you really have no business entering up here this far from the EMA. I did it anyway because I was eager, but and I was looking at this as a runaway trend. I've had that thought in my head for like 2 days now. I got to get rid of it, of this runaway trend thing. So here we start trending down. You get a leg down. This looks like a little bit of a leg of correction back to the EMA, and we go down a little bit further. So I looked at this as potentially a failed second entry long here. But then if you just wait, first entry, you get a true failed second entry right here, and that's a really nice move. I really like that. I entered on this, and I was already pretty deep in the red, so I got pretty nervous when it came back and tested these highs, but yeah, it ended up working. So that's why you got to follow the rules. Put your stop where your stop is at. These look like some really good entries here. So let's take a look at this. This looks like a range, so I would have it drawn. I'd probably have it drawn like that first. And yeah, I think that the midline looks like it's right about there. So I'd probably have this. So can we can't take this. Actually, my trend channel was drawn a little bit differently. It was drawn like this. We can't take this to close outside. Okay, we get a new low. So first entry, second entry, you can definitely have taken that. So that's aggressive because it's going into the lows of this. But do we have room to scalp out? That's the question. And 43. Yep, you do. Just about perfect. So there's another trade. I hope everyone had a good trading day. And oh wait, I gotta go over my trades, which is unfortunate because I didn't have a good day. I really do want to just start scalping out because I trade 3 contracts on the simulator, and I just don't think mathematically it works out well to have a runner because you don't get runners too often. So yeah, I think I'd prefer scalping out on all of them until I work my way up to 5 contracts. But anyway, I took this second entry. I think given the context, it's okay. We have this one leg up. We're expecting another leg up. First entry, second entry. This is the better bar to enter on, but this bar, I think given the context, you can go long there. Okay, so here, yeah, I went. This was bad behavior by entering twice. I would have been fine if this was my loss. Easy to understand why this was a loss. We had to close outside of this channel, and maybe this correction. This correction, maybe I should have had that drawn. But even that being the case, we're at the bottom of that correction. So I just got trapped. Don't enter. Be really careful, I should say, when you're entering outside of the close like that. And this close beneath the EMA, just beneath the EMA. And just draw your short-term channels, and trust your channels. Like I had this range drawn. So don't enter into the top of a range, into the highs. Yeah, and then don't you just lost. Don't enter. Wait, walk away for like half an hour. So poor behavior there, terrible behavior right here. Entering into the highs, I was like, oh, look at all these dojis and small bars. That's true, but let's draw this channel. Yeah, if you draw this channel, I probably had it drawn incorrectly. We already had a close outside of it and a move to a new high. So unfortunate and bad behavior. And then yeah, this failure, I like this failure. First entry, second entry off the trend line. Yeah, it's a good failure, and I was pretty calm when it came back up, believe it or not, because I was like, man, I'm this far in the hole. No point in getting emotional about it. And there's room to the lows. I also like the trade for that reason. So yeah, those were the trades I took today. Hope everyone had a better trading day than I did. I will be back tomorrow for the Friday lesson. Have a great day.